Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. It's review time, and I have to tell you about this awesome new program that I've been playing with. DNDcombat.com. This program literally knocks my socks off. As a dungeon master, especially when you're new, one of the more difficult aspects of D&D is encounter building. Now, there are a bunch of tools out there that allow you to kind of build an encounter and give an idea based on experience points, and they tell you whether they're deadly or easy or whatever. This DNDcombat.com simulator runs AI-powered simulations. And that is just cool as hell. In my day job, I'm a statistical engineer, so I absolutely love this. But better than that, it allows me to test a variety of combinations of monsters in a matter of seconds, which is just awesome. And on top of that, it's pretty simple to use. I did notice that there are some UI work to be done. But once you get past the simple UI and kind of having to search around for everything, it actually becomes pretty intuitive pretty quickly. So let's just talk about the basic layout here of the fight. So first, you can see right up here that it runs 25 fights by default and then gives you the statistics, which is pretty cool. Additionally, you can mix and match the different type of player characters. You can even import your content from D&D Beyond into DNDcombat.com, which is really, really awesome because now you're taking all the stuff that you've built, your player characters specifically, and the spells and the features that they have, and you're running them in the simulation. So let's play a couple examples here. We know that a CR1 monster is supposed to be a challenge for a group of adventurers. Now, any experienced DM knows that's not always the case due to action economy. That being said, the amount of damage that the monster can do definitely is dangerous enough to destroy a party if they get the opportunity. So this kind of allows you to run an interesting simulation to tell not only if the action economy is there, but how it balances out. Up here on the top, under fight results, you'll see a percentage, which is really cool. So let's take a monster down here and let's toss a few monsters together against our party of 5: our sorcerer, our paladin, our rogue, our bard, and our ranger. All right, so if we scroll down here, we have monsters and players. So what's really cool is you can see the green and the red plus signs. That's because you can actually add monsters to either side, which is really great for the animal companion type stuff, or making a agreement with a monster for a temporary partnership. So the fact that that's kind of included is pretty sweet. All right, so here we got an ambush drake. So let's toss in 2 ambush drakes that are a half CR. So that's right now 2 monsters versus 5 players. I would say that the players certainly have the advantage, not only in action economy, but in strength, right? So I think I'm comfortable adding, let's toss in a kobold. So there is a filter system here where you can type in what it is you're looking for, and it's supposed to pop up all the different options, which come from across multiple different books as far as I can tell. So let's toss in a few of our kobold buddies here. So we'll do 2 kobold and 2 ambush drakes. So we got 4 monsters and 5 players. That's a really good, nice action economy ratio. You'll notice, like right up here, it tells us the average level of the party and the average CR of the monsters, which gives us a really good indication of what to expect as well. But then all we got to do right here is click this awesome little button here, and you'll see it starts running a simulation here. And that's pretty short, so it ran it pretty quickly. But what's really cool is it does even more than just tell you what the chances of the party winning. In this example, it's 100%. But if you click on per creature fight, you can see that it actually gives you the data plots for it. I feel like that to me is pretty cool. I wonder if I gotta click that again. There we go. So this actually dropped a little bit. Let's look at the creature report now. So you can do damage breakdown, you can do watch one fight. This is probably my favorite format. You can see where they start off up here in the corner, and then the adventurers. Let me move my camera here. You can see the adventures start off in the other camera, and then as you cycle through the actions, it tells you exactly what the character is doing, what weapon they used, what power they did, how far they moved, which is just fantastic, and it's a lot of really good information. You can see that the bard is using bardic inspiration, which is pretty nice, and it really follows it step by step and shows you how the fight is, going, which is far more than something like Cobalt Fight Club, which is something I used for a really long time. Obviously, this D&D combat simulator is 100% going to be changing that because this gives me far more information. Once again, as a data analyst, this is something that I can leverage to make my encounters more interesting, because now I can do something that usually takes me a lot of time, which is easily adding in a variety of different monster types. I played a lot of 4th edition, and in it had core sets of monsters. You had like a lurker, which was somebody that surprises or ambushes. You had artillery, which is somebody that attacks from a distance, and making sure that I get that and the brute and all that stuff covered. It takes quite a bit of time balancing, and generally you're only balancing based on CR, not based on the features and the mechanics of the monster, which is something that this does by running the playthrough simulations as you use them. So let's take our party up to level 3 and change out some of our monsters here, and let's go something bigger, right? So we've got a lot of good options. I want to kind of go over the top. What happens, and I want to show you, this is where I want to show you the difference in action economy. So if we pick a CR5, that says it should take a 5th level party and be challenging, or at least medium difficulty for a 5th level party. But if we toss that together and we hit start fight, we would expect that to always be a failure, that the players would always lose. But that's not the case in this example. And this is a really good example because I've ran something like this where I've challenged my players with a CR5 and they've continuously won. This is where I had to really study to understand the difference in action economy, right? So if we go to the per creature report and go back to watch one fight, we can see once again our monster is here, and we can step through the adventure, and you can see just how many times they get to go before the boss. And so this to me is a far more accurate calculation than what we get with some of the other combat builders, at least in my opinion. So there's lots to it. There's some really neat videos that the content creator has made. I do, and one of them he mispronounces lich, and that's it made me laugh. I mean, you can pronounce it however you want, but it made me giggle a little bit. It is worth noting, and the creator here does talk about that the party is often smarter than the AI, and that's worth keeping in check. They will come up with tools and utilities and details and mechanics and clever things that you don't ever think about as a dungeon master, and that's expected, and that's okay. But what's cool about this is it just makes it easier on us for preparing encounters. And I'm really excited to see how much farther this goes. I've only played with it here for a little while, and I'm already beginning to see the potential in it. And I think that it really could change the way DMs build their adventures for the better. So let's see if we can get what it takes to get a level 3 hard encounter, right? Something that they win only 50% of the time. So let's scroll down here. I'm a big fan of more monsters, so we're gonna pick some on the weaker side, and you can sort by CR, right? So let's do less than let's say 2. Let's do 2. And so it'll filter those out. I think we can sort here by CR. Where's all my 2s? I guess it is not less than and equal to, it's just less than 2. Okay, so let's do 3 then, so I can include 2. Alright, sort that. So here's all our monsters. So Hill Giant Servant, that sounds interesting. We want some brutes, so let's toss in a big brute. Let's toss in the Hill Giant Servant. Then we're gonna want something a little more aggressive, maybe ambushy. Spider Queen could work. What's some weaker ones? Let's get a couple CR ones in here and scroll through it. I did notice that the search function works most of the time pretty well. I did run into a few issues with it, but for the most part, I was still able to find everything that I was looking for. So let's. I don't know how far. There's so many damn monsters in this game. Let's go to page 5. I'm not really looking for anything particular. Maybe page 4 is CR1s. So we've got the big brute. Let's get some artillery, right? Let's get some. Why did that not go to 4? There we go. Let's get some artillery. So what do we got in here for artillery? Ghoul, not so much. Spy, I think the spy can actually use a ranged attack, right? Yep, it can make a ranged attack. Plus it has the cunning action and sneak attack, which means it's going to get a lot of mobility and options. So why don't we add a couple of the spies into here? We'll add 2 of those. So now we've got the brute, we've got the potential artillery. I like crowd control. So let's look for a wizard or a magic user. I think you can actually sort by the type too, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what these class here represents, to show what it's kind of mixed into. Skulk, ape, thug. We got a lot. There's I feel like every single monster is in here. Satyr could be good. Do they have healing at all? I do love that the stats are kind of presented for you, which is interesting. It's obviously the layout still needs a little bit of work, but once again, I feel like this is a newer program, so they've got some work to do. But you have to make sure that there's a want or a need for it, right? You need to, before you want to invest too much time, you want to make sure that people want what it is you're making. So the fact that I can access this for free so far is fantastic and is already amazing. Ooh, here's a good one. So we got some of these dust methods, right? They got the death burst, which is a nice surprise. F you. Which can also, they have the blinding breath. So I'm gonna say we're gonna go with these for our ranged attacks. It's not for our crowd control. It's not super potent and strong, but we can add a few of the dust methods to really get the most out of that. So there it is. So let's add, these are only a CR half, so let's add 4 of those. Right, so now we've got 8 monsters with an average CR rating of 0. I'm wondering if that's broken. No, because there's so many of the dust methods, it's bringing it down to a half. So I think we can go with more. So maybe we've got our brute. Can we toss another brute in there? Probably not. I would say, how about some sort of healer maybe? Something to offset the damage of the party. The blind kind of does that, I suppose, too already. How about, ooh, an evil maid? What does this guy do? I don't even know where that's from. Oh, it doesn't have a stat block to it. Does it? Nope. Not all of them. I wonder if, because the compendium says 38, I think that's 38% complete. So not everything is still being loaded and integrated. Let's add our spellcaster here. Let's give 2 of them. All right, so now we've got 10 monsters versus 4 players. So the question is, even with an average CR rating of 0, that's got to be bugged. There's no way that can be 0. Well, with a 0.5, yeah, maybe. All right, let's go and hit start 25 fights. And you can change this number to whatever number you want. That's entirely up to you. Party wins 4%. That's what I was expecting, right? We've dominated their asses. So this party is obviously not going to be able to take down this group, right? So let's go and hit simulator and let's see where the shit fell apart. So first of all, they're very outnumbered. So we have the overall 4% monsters win. So let's follow this. The spy gets in there quick. Look at that. Dust methods move in. Oh, dude. Dash. They move. They don't mess around. They rush right in there, don't they? Everything's moving in pretty quick here. The barbarian swings with its great axe. Takes some. Does it say what he's attacking? Decides to attack. Doesn't actually. Oh, Dust Muffet. There it is. So does 14 damage. I think that might take out the Dust Muffet. They're pretty weak, right? Dead Dust Muffet. So look at this battle. We got the wizard is next. Decided on Magic Missile. Okay, I can see that. Take out some of the weaker enemies pretty quick. Does 11 damage with Magic Missile. Does that just one Mephit, or did it hit a couple of them? I'm not really sure. Alright. So we move into the Dust Mephits are moving in. See, and this is where I feel like the players would have the advantage, because this, as far as I can tell, this simulator assumes a blank open terrain. No high ground, no cover. I don't know if that's in the works. I would hope so. Little things like that can really add to the experience. The Evil Mage, ooh, geez. The Evil Mage just demolished our Barbarian, I guess, or in the Rogue. What killed the Rogue? Oh yeah, the Rogue went down with a beatdown from the Hill Giant. There's our big brute doing his work. See, to me, the Ranger should have really kept his distance. I'm going to charge after the big guy. No, that's a bad idea. Dust Mephit come in, swoop in. See, right here, this is what's interesting to me. I don't know that I've actually seen the Dust Mephit use its... Did it use its blinding attack? It didn't... Hill Giant, Dust Mephit's turn. See, that one just used the dash, so maybe they just decide to do the claw. So that might be an example of where the work needs to be improved upon a little bit, because to me, the first thing that, I guess the dash too. The first thing that they would be doing is opening up with their big heavy hitter, which in this case would be the blinding dust attack. And once again, here it does attacks with the claws and not the blinding dust. Yet we're still outnumbering the party. We're still mowing through them pretty quickly. Yeah, once again, so here's the claws. So even without using their blinding effect, they're still demolishing the players. But they also, this comes back to action economy. See how they got the I don't know, you probably can't see that. They got the enemies here, the player characters are just completely and utterly surrounded, which is terrible for business. So that's obviously going to lead to a complete party wipe. So that's not a party that we're going to, or a combat that we're going to want to deal with. So let's go home here. Oh, let's go back to fight. Sorry. So we got our fight here. So obviously that's too much. So what happens if we just get rid of the mages? All right, let's get rid of the mages. Now let's run 25 fights. So now we've got a CR2, 5 half CRs, and 2 CR1s. That should be a pretty hard challenge, I would think. Yep, 64%. So that's actually something that I would probably run, looking for a medium to hard encounter. A 64% win ratio to me is a perfect for like a boss battle, I would say. I'm of the mind that I really like the the easy, medium, hard type encounters, but I just kind of mix them up. So sometimes you get the hard encounter first, followed by easy, then medium, because sometimes the players want to feel like they are powerful and strong. A tool like this at dndcombat.com really lets me experiment with that a little better. Once again, you can go in and watch the reports, which is really, really just super powerful and a great way. Once again, the coolest thing is that it works with integration by you can export your D&D Beyond creations and import them. I think that works both. I know I played with the player character one, though it does have pre-generated you can just run. But I'm pretty sure it works with monsters as well. You'll have to tinker with it too. I'm still learning this program. I see that it has, you can feed magic items and equip them to your characters. So I would assume that that would also be part of this awesome tool, which is just really, really great. Well, I think that'll do it for this review. Overall, I think that while it's clearly in its infancy, this is a program that is going to just change the way us dungeon masters prepare for our D&D sessions. I mean, you literally can build them on the fly and test them as your players decide to go in a different direction than you have planned, which is a powerful, powerful tool to have ready to go in mere seconds. I personally recommend this tool. I can't wait to see where it goes. I can see it blowing up and becoming the must-have tool for all dungeon masters. With that, I think we'll close out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you head on over to dndcombat.com and check it out. You can find a link in the description below. Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.